You targeted Bell and Brown in that game 29 times. How much, with spreading the ball around, has that become a better thing for this offense? That it seemed like you zeroed on those two guys more than anybody else in that game, but now it seems like you guys spread the ball around pretty well.
They're all pros. I think anyone that doesn't target them would be foolish. We have a lot of guys that can make plays for us, and hopefully we'll take advantage of that.
Ben, when you play a team outside of your division or a team that you haven't seen, sometimes it's a little more difficult to prepare. Is it easier because you saw Jacksonville early in the year?
Preparing for these guys is never easy. They're the best defense in the league for a reason.
Ben, you played that Denver defense twice a couple of years ago. The defensive backs were highly touted like these guys. Can you compare? Are they similar? Are they in the way they play?
I hadn't even thought about that until you brought it up. I just know that these guys are extremely talented, and to think back on that Denver defense, that they were talented too. They got a pass rush and a really good secondary, so obviously very similar.
What's the biggest challenge with those athletic corners trying to beat them?
Trying to beat them, trying to get open, and trying to throw a pass that they don't intercept.
At home game, Heinz Field, what do you expect from this crowd on Sunday? And does it ever get old? I mean, it's still enjoyable every time.
Absolutely. I expect it to be a packed house, loud. I expect them to have a lot of fun. Anytime you get kind of extra football in Heinz Field, the fans enjoy it, and we do too.
Ben, how much more difficult does it make your job when it's cold out? I know you guys don't use weather as a factor, but for a quarterback, what does it do when it's pretty cold?
Hurts a little more when you get hit. Sometimes it can make it more difficult to throw the ball, but I'm a Northwest Ohio guy. I've lived here for a long time now, so I'm kind of used to it.
When it comes to the crowd, do you savor this one a little bit more, knowing that with every offseason that you contemplate that this could be your last game at Heinz Field, or do you treat every game like that?
Yeah, you have to treat every game like it could be your last, because you never know when it is. We saw an example of that obviously earlier in the season with Ryan. You just never know when it could be your last. Hoping it's not his last, but you have to go out and play every play and enjoy every play and every game like it could be your last.
Do you think this is your last game at Heinz Field, or is that something you?
I'm not thinking about that right now. I don't think it is my last, but I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm going out to play this one and give it everything I have.
So you think the Patriots will lose then?
I'm sorry?
Do you think the Patriots will lose then?
I'm not worried about what's going on up there. All I can think about and worry about is this defense that we're playing.
You made the comment that you wanted to play Jacksonville, and I think one of their players said that be careful what you wish for. So it seems like they want to play you, you want to play them. How much is there a motivation or an incentive involved in this game outside of what's at stake?
Well, it's the postseason. I'll play anybody in the postseason. I mean, that's what just that opportunity to get here is what what it should mean to everybody and how special it is. So I'm sure everybody's excited.
You're so used to having Antonio Brown every day. What was it like to have him back in the fold this week or practice?
Awesome.
Ben, I think it said that you had 20 postseason playoff games under your belt. Bortles has one. How much of that experience is an edge for you?
Hopefully a little bit. It's you played in a lot of them. You still just treat it like a football game. It's a little bit faster each game. The further you go means a little bit more. So hopefully we can use that experience to my advantage.
You're used to the speed. You're used to the situation. I mean, is that something that when you go out there's really kind of nothing new to you?
Well, it's always new because it's always different, I should say, because every year is different. Every opponent's different, and this is one of the best defenses I've ever played against. So it'll still be a little different.
What about this defense makes you say something like that?
Everything. There's not one thing. Pass rush, linebacker, secondary, their stats. You look at what they've put on paper and put on tape this year, I think that speaks for themselves.